Religion is one of the strongest forces shaping human identity, law, and culture. Catholicism is one of the largest faiths in the world with more than 1 billion followers across every continent. From Latin America to Africa, from Europe to Asia, Catholic churches are visible almost everywhere, but not in every country. There are still places where Catholicism is not officially recognized as a religion. In these countries, Catholics are denied legal protections, their churches are controlled or banned, and their worship is restricted. This raises serious questions about freedom of religion in the 21st century. In this video, we will look at 7 countries that refuse to recognize Catholicism as a religion. We will explain how the state restricts Catholic life, why it does so, and what this means for believers who want to practice their faith. And remember, all the official sources we use to prepare this video are listed in the description, so you can check them directly after watching. Number 7. Saudi Arabia is known as the birthplace of Islam and the guardian of its 2 holiest cities, Mecca and Medina. Because of this role, the kingdom enforces one of the strictest religious systems in the world. Public practice of any faith other than Islam is banned. That means Catholicism is not recognized at all. There are no Catholic churches, no Catholic schools, and no public masses anywhere in the country. Yet millions of foreign workers live in Saudi Arabia and a large number of them are Catholic. Most come from the Philippines, India, Sri Lanka, and parts of Africa. They clean homes, build roads, work in hospitals, and staff restaurants. But they cannot freely practice their religion. If they want to attend Mass, they must do so in private homes, often in secret. The authorities sometimes tolerate this if it remains discreet. But open worship is strictly forbidden. Religious police have historically raided private gatherings, confiscated Bibles, and interrogated worshippers. Even wearing a crucifix in public can lead to confiscation or questioning. Saudi Arabia has signed international human rights agreements but continues to enforce its religious uniformity laws. The government argues that allowing non-Muslim worship would offend national identity and Islamic law. But human rights organizations argue that this denies millions of Catholics their basic right to religious freedom. For Catholics living in Saudi Arabia, daily life means silence, secrecy, and separation from their faith community. Families often leave children without religious education because of fear. Priests are not allowed to enter the country to serve them. The result is a Catholic population that survives but remains invisible. Number 6. North Korea is one of the most repressive countries on earth when it comes to religion. The state ideology of Guch requires absolute loyalty to the Kim dynasty, leaving no room for independent faith. Catholicism is officially banned. The government operates a few showcase churches in Pyongyang, including one that calls itself Catholic, but these buildings are widely considered propaganda staged for foreign visitors with no real priests or sacraments. The Vatican has stated clearly that it has no connection to the so-called Catholic Church in North Korea. In reality, there are no ordained Catholic priests in the country, no recognized masses, and no functioning Catholic community. Anyone caught practicing Catholicism underground risks imprisonment, forced labor, or even execution. Defectors have testified that families were arrested simply for owning a Bible or a rosary. Catholicism in North Korea has been erased from public life. The regime fears that loyalty to the Pope or to the Church could rival loyalty to the state. So Catholicism, like all religion, is forbidden, replaced by complete devotion to the Kim family. Catholics who survive in secret do so at immense risk. Unlike Protestant underground groups, Catholicism requires sacraments such as the Eucharist and confession, which cannot be done without priests. This means Catholicism has been nearly extinguished in practice, leaving only memory and silence behind. Number 5. The Maldives is famous worldwide for its luxury resorts and beaches, but behind the tourist image lies one of the harshest systems of religious control. The constitution declares Islam as the only recognized religion of the state. All Maldivian citizens are required to be Muslim. Catholicism is not recognized in any form. There are no Catholic churches, no Catholic schools, and no legal rights for Catholics. Foreigners working in the Maldives are allowed to pray privately, but only in their homes or diplomatic spaces. Public worship, wearing religious symbols or building churches is illegal. Importing Catholic Bibles, rosaries or statues can result in confiscation at the airport. For Maldivian citizens, conversion to Catholicism or any other faith is unthinkable. Leaving Islam means losing citizenship and facing severe punishment. So while tourists enjoy freedom inside resort islands, Catholics who live and work in the Maldives face strict silence. Their faith has no recognition, no protection, and no visibility in public life. Even Catholic weddings or baptisms cannot be legally recognized. This creates a hidden Catholic population that depends on embassies or online communities to maintain contact with their faith.
Number 4. Afghanistan.
Since the Taliban regained power in 2021, Afghanistan has eliminated all recognition of non-Muslim religions. Catholicism, like all Christianity, is banned. The only Catholic church in the country located inside the Italian embassy in Kabul was closed after the fall of the Afghan government. There are no Catholic institutions, no priests, and no public masses. Afghan citizens who convert to Catholicism face grave danger. Under interpretations of Islamic law enforced by the Taliban, conversion from Islam is punishable by death. Foreign Catholics still present in Afghanistan, such as aid workers, are forced to worship in secret, often alone or in small groups without a priest. The Vatican has publicly expressed concern for Catholics in Afghanistan, but the Taliban offers no recognition or protection. Catholicism has been erased from the country's religious landscape, replaced by a system that recognizes only Islam. For decades, small groups of Catholics survived under foreign military presence. But with their departure, the Catholic presence has nearly disappeared. Any attempt to re-establish it would face immediate repression. Number 3. Eritrea is often called the North Korea of Africa because of its authoritarian government and severe restrictions on freedom. Officially, Eritrea recognizes only 4 religions: the Eritrean Orthodox Church, the Roman Catholic Church, the Evangelical Lutheran Church, and Sunni Islam. At first, this seems to include Catholicism. But in reality, the government refuses to recognize it as an independent religion. The state controls every aspect of Catholic life. In 2019, the government seized Catholic-run hospitals, clinics, and schools. The church was stripped of its ability to provide education and health care. Catholic priests and bishops have been arrested for criticizing the regime. Sermons are monitored and any Catholic activity not aligned with government policy is punished. So while Catholicism exists on paper, in practice it is not free. It is recognized only as an arm of the state and true Catholic independence is denied. For Catholics in Eritrea, their religion is reduced to silence under dictatorship. Even the act of speaking out for justice has led bishops to be placed under house arrest. The Vatican has condemned these actions, but Eritrea ignores international pressure. Catholicism is trapped between existence and extinction. Number 2. China has one of the largest Catholic populations in the world with tens of millions of believers. But the government refuses to fully recognize Catholicism as an independent religion. The only legal Catholic body is the Chinese Patriotic Catholic Association, which is controlled by the Communist Party. This means bishops are appointed by the government, not by the Vatican. For Catholics loyal to Rome, this creates a painful choice. If they join the state church, they compromise their faith's independence. If they remain underground, they risk harassment, detention, and destruction of their churches. The Vatican signed an agreement with China in 2018 to try to resolve the bishop appointment issue, but tensions remain. Underground Catholic leaders continue to disappear. Some priests are jailed and their communities are demolished. So, while Catholicism is visible in China, it is not truly recognized as the global church under the Pope. It exists only under state control, and millions of Catholics live with divided loyalties and constant fear. Children of underground Catholics face pressure at school and families are forced to register as atheists. Religious education is restricted, leaving generations without catechism. The state's control means Catholicism survives but without full freedom. Number 1. Laos is a communist state where religion is tightly controlled by the government. The constitution guarantees freedom of religion in theory, but in practice, the state recognizes only limited forms of Buddhism and Christianity. Catholicism is not freely recognized. There are Catholic churches in a few cities, but they are heavily monitored and restricted. In rural areas, Catholics face harassment from local officials if they try to gather for worship. The government requires Catholic communities to register with state authorities, but most applications are denied. This leaves many Catholics practicing unofficially without legal protection. Missionary work is forbidden and Catholic education is banned. Catholics who try to spread their faith risk arrest or expulsion. As a result, Catholicism exists only in small controlled spaces and it is not recognized as a legitimate religion across the country. Reports from human rights groups describe Catholics in rural Laos being pressured to abandon their faith or face harassment. Priests are few and many villages go months without Mass. The Catholic Church is reduced to survival, not growth. These 7 countries, Saudi Arabia, North Korea, Maldives, Afghanistan, Eritrea, China, and Laos, show us how even one of the world's largest religions can be denied recognition. In some places like Saudi Arabia and Maldives, Catholicism is completely banned. In others, like Eritrea and China, it is tolerated only under strict government control. And in North Korea and Afghanistan, Catholicism is erased entirely from public life. For millions of Catholics in these countries, practicing their faith means secrecy, fear, or compromise. This is a powerful reminder that freedom of religion is not universal, and recognition of faith is still a struggle for many communities. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.